Yeah, strange. I don't know what the hell was happening there. Um, but hopefully I have now resolved the issue and we are back live.
Make sure they don't overlap, just making
But I can't seem to see it. There we go. So I am live again, which is good. I can see myself. There we go. All right. So yes, for those that are watching on catch up, I completely made an error there. Good day, Adam TV. I was talking away. I could see you guys messaging, so thank you. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened there. How are you? And where are you talking to us from, Adam TV? Where are you coming to us from? G'day, Patrick. Thank you, mate, for joining. Sorry for the mess up before. I'm going to delete that 3 minutes of nothing. I'm a big fan. Ah, cheers, Adam. I appreciate that, mate. You know my place. Yes, I know you're in Switzerland, although you do like to bunny hop around going to different tournaments and such. So it's always hard to pinpoint exactly where you might be. Okay. So what are you guys working on? Are you is there much happening on the old workbench? I've been a little bit busy myself, but this week's going to ramp up. This is the week of painting tutorials. I normally do a week of painting tutorials, filming, and then I stop for a week or two and I do my own stuff and such. But I can normally smash out about 4 or 5 videos in that week. I'm making model making at this moment. Oh, cool. What models are you making, Adam? It's easy right now. I paint Japanese and I struggle to build Japanese list. Infantry, mate. Infantry, infantry, infantry. Am I on this time, Ian? You are indeed. Thank you for joining. You made it on. We've got 11 of you in the channel now, which is great. British Air personnel. Oh, okay. Like the RAF, like Royal Air Force, or are you doing like airborne figures, perhaps? Oh, I've got to move this. Look at this. Put that one over there. Oh no, I'll put them out of shot. There we go. If I move them that way, you can see them a bit better. There we go. Oh, bombs. Ah, okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Japanese list for Flames of War. That's a tricky one, Patrick. I would the Japanese lists I've played, obviously infantry heavy, lots and lots of infantry, and lots of machine guns and mortars is probably your best bet. Tanks and stuff just it's not really worth it, to be honest. Yeah, the problem is it's an army list for 2026 in Kentucky is for Wolf Craig. Um, oh man, I'm so jealous. How'd you get the time to fly to all these tournaments? Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, well, 2026, you've got a good, what, I don't know when the list would need to be in, but you've got some time. Sorry for my German. Sorry, I'm German, my English. Ah, okay, that's all right, mate. That's fine. You've got really good. I can understand exactly what you're saying. When people say like British air personnel, it could be anything really. So yeah, no, don't need to apologize, mate. I should be speaking German to you, but I don't know any foreign language, unfortunately, other than English. You have 87 point only infantry, no tank formation. You could throw in a few tanks though, right? Just a few like Type 87s. This guy's playing for 26-6, and I don't even know what I've got going on the next week. Yeah, I know, right? I literally am debating with myself what I want to do for the tutorials this week. I'm really debating if I want to do another British airborne tutorial but in 20 mil form. People want it, but I'm like, I'm gonna flood Google with just like a million 20 mil British airborne tutorials. And Ian, do you know when May 40 are actually going to release the KNIL figures? Because it's been ages, right? It's been ages. Adam TV, nice. Ah, yeah. Thanks, mate. Because yeah, I want to get my hands on those Dutch figures, but I know they're taking quite a while. Have you seen the new German ones from Victrix? What do you think? Yeah, they look lovely. They really, really look lovely, Frederick. And thank you for joining. And hello from France. Bonjour, I think is what I should be saying. Yes, I have seen them and they look great. Very diverse in the fact that you can make. I think they've given you a box set where you can get a platoon of infantry, maybe, or you get a lot of infantry and supporting elements, HMGs, mortars, and stuff. That's really cool. They look nice for plastic, look like they're proportioned correctly. You know, Warlord games have that sort of hero look to them, a little bit chubby on and a little bit blown out and stuff, but they look good. They're easy to paint like that. Whereas the Victrix ones look a little bit more slimmer, a little bit more detailed in that regard. Victrix did say to me that they were going to be sending me a sample sprue. I'm yet to get it. I think that was like a month ago now. I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to see if they send me one. If not, I might get my own, but I'll probably miss the boat. I think all the other channels are probably going to get it, and that's typical, especially for people in Australia. Sorry, very long-winded answer. I have seen them, and they look awesome. I need time to paint my army and have more motivation. If it's an event to paint a top army, yeah, especially with a Japanese army, you're going to need time, lots and lots of time. So you're doing the right thing. You're definitely going to need like 6 months of all that infantry, I reckon. And if you're painting it full time. Good afternoon, all, says Megamix. Good afternoon, mate. Where are you joining us from? Adam TV, I painted German AFK2, I mean JFF. Ah, awesome. Yeah, you've been busy. What scale are you painting, Adam? Megamix, Warlord US Army Rangers, just about to start. Oh, the new US Army Rangers are lovely. Lovely sculpts as well. Just in time for D-Day. Are you going to do Point du Hoc, or are you thinking a bit further along in the war? Thomas Chase, do you do other periods than World War II? And hello from Texas, USA. Hello. I do. I think you might. I've got some Vietnam stuff on there, which would be applicable for Americans, obviously. I've got some Crusader Wars focused around the Third Crusade with Richard the Lionheart. Was that this? Yeah, Third Crusade. Yeah, I've dabbled in other scales. Other periods of history. I try to not do it too often because obviously it's a World War II channel. But I do it, and I love to do it. I'm not sure if you can see right here. You would have to be zooming right in, but we've got a Zulu and a private hook from the Warlord Games Rorke's Drift set. So I will be doing that at some point for the Zulu Wars, Anglo-Zulu Wars. So yeah, I do it. I love to do it. I've got a lot of medieval stuff that I want to do. I've also touched the Punic Wars with the Epic range from Warlord Games, and a few other things. So you can check those out on the channel too, because I think I've got reviews for those, but none. I've not gone too crazy. Frederick, you're right in proportion. I find them very realistic. What Perry does, like what Perry does. Yeah, exactly. Perry, I haven't had Perry on the channel actually, but they look awesome. I have had Perry before. Perry miniatures look a little bit smaller, right? But they're thinner. Again, probably a bit more realistic. unless they're like a chubster like myself and some others out there. But yeah, it's interesting. It would be refreshing for someone to do Rangers for the Pacific. Yeah, I know, mate. I know the US Army and the Pacific do get uh, what's the word, put to one side a lot, which is a shame, really, because they played a much bigger part in the USMC, from what I read. Patrick, I try for a best painted army. You'll get it, mate. You'll get it for sure. Thomas, have you played Lionheart Rules? I haven't. Haven't played Lionheart Rules. I don't know anything about it. Um, and believe it or not, I'm not much of a gamer. So I play Flames of War. I've played Bolt Action a couple of times, and I've played Battle Group a couple of times. I am going to be playing Chain of Command soon, hopefully. But yeah, I might try that. I have seen that rule set, so I might try and use that at some point. Thought about the question from last week. What manufacturer would you choose as to a line of figures and genre? This is from Mark. Thanks for joining, Mark. Is the question like what would I like from what manufacturer? So like what would be um my ideal new range? I don't want to give you a wrong answer, that's all, because I like to give long-winded answers sometimes. So I don't want to go on a big tangent and then you go, no, that's not what I was talking about. Adam, can you paint Hobbit figures in future? Uh, Look, I love Lord of the Rings. Got a very, very soft spot in my heart. I did get some Lord of the Rings figures from the old Battle Games magazine set because I had that as a kid. It was incomplete though, so I just sold it. I thought I'd snagged a full set of like 90 magazines, but then it turned out to be a big hiccup on that one too. Um, but I might do, because again, it's got a soft spot in my heart, but it won't be on there regularly. I had a Gondor army, I think, when I was growing up, a Rohan army, Isengard, I had it all. So yeah, I probably would touch on it again. But that painting style is quite a lot different to painting World War II. So some people might not want to see it. But it might be a good way of just changing up the channel ever so slightly. Thomas, don't forget to like the stream. Yeah, exactly, mate. Thank you. Yeah, give it a big thumbs up. Apparently, you've got to hit the notification bell now if you want to see if I've got new videos. But that's not a big thing for my channel, only because you guys are only going to watch it when you're wanting to watch how to paint certain things. Or not how I paint certain things, I should say. Not a game as scandalous, says Ian. Yeah, yeah, I'm awful. My brain is shocking for remembering rules. I'm just awful. Mark, what would you like? Okay, so it's a difficult one. So in 28 mil, I would love to see. What would I love to see? See, I feel like 28 mil, I'm pretty covered because I wanted more British airborne figures, but then Paul Hicks and Empress came out with the Arnhem Heroes range, so I was chuffed to bits with that. I tell you, the biggest thing I'd love to see at the moment, the one thing I'm really craving from a wargaming miniatures point of view, is 20 mil Gurkhas. Um, uh, and if they could be released by AB Figures, I'd be like over the moon with them. Simon's Soldiers or Adler or Checkpoint Miniatures. Any of those companies releasing some 20 millimeter Gurkhas that you could use for the Pacific or Italy would be amazing, because there's just not, the market's got nothing in 20 mil form for that. I'd love to see that. And AB have just released all their Chindits, so I'd love to see some Gurkhas go there. I heard a rumbling that somebody said they wouldn't do it because it wouldn't be a big market for it, but I would I'll disagree with that, but that's just being biased, I suppose. Tom's, I bet after you play Chain of Command version 2 that you become a gamer. Yeah, I should be getting the book soon, hopefully, because a lot of my miniatures are featuring in the book. So if you want to see some of my miniatures, please check out the book. You would have seen them already anyway, because they're on my Instagram and Facebook and on the videos. but it is going in the Chain of Command version 2 book. So yeah, keep an eye out for those and see if you can tell which ones are mine. Hint, they're probably the 20mm figures. Frederick, in any case, thank you for your tutorials on German camouflages. I was very inspired by them for my Waffen army. I'm now hesitating for the fourth army. I already have Waffen, US Army, and US Airborne. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like the tutorials. I try and make them as easy as I can do. I did go through a stage where I was painting a lot of layers, and it made it a bit too complicated. So some of my videos, my recent videos, I've tried to keep the paint mixtures down, so there's not as many in there. But I really, really am chuffed that you like my videos, and I reckon you'll smash out the fourth army, mate. So you'll if you can tackle Waffen SS, you can tackle pretty much anything, I think. Iron Ghost, good morning from St. Louis, Missouri, I believe that is, USA. Good morning. Well, it's good evening for me. It is closing in on 10 p.m. in Western Australia, but thank you for joining us on this hopefully lovely morning for you, because what are you? You're going into your summer, so I imagine it's going to be nice and hot and humid where you are. Ian, Paul Higgs is one of the best sculptors out there. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Tony Burton as well, in the 20mm form from AB Figures. They are two of my favorite sculptors out there. Their work is just phenomenal. I have no idea how they can sculpt so well, but you know what? They're just wizards. I could never do that, I don't think. Mark 1241, Gurkhas. All right, with the question I will then throw back at you, Mark. What would you like to see and from whom? Adam TV, can you say hello in German? Is it Guten Tag? I did try and learn some German, and I'm trying to, but this was going back years and years ago. I know Essen was like, was it eat or was that like lunch? Yeah, I'm terrible with other languages. I'm not even going to pretend that I know anything. I don't know how these guys sculpt figures on a 25 and 28mm, especially like the 6mm stuff, says Ian. Yeah, I completely agree. You're right, the 6mm stuff. I mean, like sculpting an infantry figure at 6mm. I mean, like, to me, it'd be like, I don't know, how the hell would you sculpt it? You would have to have like a magnifying glass for sure. That's craziness, but they do it, right? And they do a bloody good job of it. I really like the 6mm, is it Bacchus figures? I've never got any, but I love the like grand scale medieval battles. I think that'd be so cool. Can you share your experience with Two Fat Lardies and the process for getting published? Unfortunately, Tom, I don't really know. Rich messaged me and just said, "Hey, look, we teamed up for the Pacific release that they did at the Far East Handbook for the British and the Dutch. He wanted to use my painted figures, and he just said, 'Can I use them?' So I said, 'Yeah, sure, no problem.' He also requested I paint a couple of other figures that he wanted in the book, which I did. And then he reached out to me again for the Chain of Command version 2 and just said, 'Hey, look, can I use some of your figures?' So again, I said, yes, no problem. That's as far as it goes, mate. So in terms of publishing and that, I have absolutely no idea. But I'd love to know myself as well, because people have asked me to do like, somebody said to me in a comment recently, like, you should do a book or a magazine or something like tutorials and just sell it. And I'm like, that's a pretty cool idea. I don't even know how you'd get started on that, how you'd even make that. Am I even big enough of a channel to do that? I don't know. Please try Oathmark miniatures. I've never ever heard of Oathmark miniatures, but I will definitely check them out, Adam. Thank you for the lead on that one. Thomas, are you credited in the books? I am. So, well, I was in the Pacific one. Hopefully I will be in Chain of Command version 2 rulebook. I'd say I would be. Lardy Rich is a good bloke. He's a very good bloke. So I'm sure he will credit me where it's due. But there's other people on there as well that I'm sure they'll get credit. I think he's a really good he's a really good bloke in the fact that he likes to use a lot of miniatures painted by the community. So it's not like, look at this amazingly painted figure from, this person that's got like 500,000 followers on Facebook because he's that good. He likes to just grab it from different people and different types of painting and stuff, which is cool. AB Indigenous Troops, says Mark. Yes, I agree with that. I'd love to see some Burmese or like catching tribesmen and stuff like that. That'd be so cool. Ask Richard for help, and I bet he can get your book going. I mean, I don't know. I'm toying with the idea. I feel like there's people that should do a book, which have, like Ruben that does the Flames of War stuff. I think he's got a book out there. Andy Singleton's another one. Superb painters, really, really good painters. They know their stuff. They know the science behind their painting. They understand what to do. Different lighting does this and that. I don't know any of that. I'm literally like, oh, I'll whack these two paints together, and that gives me something that I think looks good. So I don't know. I feel like it'd be a bit of a con trying to write a book. Yeah, I don't know. I've been toying with that idea only because somebody said it. So I was like, oh, would that be a good idea? It'd be pretty cool, but I don't know. I aspire to have my painted figures in a book one day, or at least on a web page. Unfortunately, Ian, you missed the boat with the Pacific rulebook that Chain of Command brought up, because I'm sure he would have loved to have used a lot of your KNIL in the book, because I know the book was short of Dutch figures, and I think he only used my 4 that I had painted. So that is a bummer. But I'm sure there'll be a time for it again, and hopefully somebody will reach out to you, because you've got some lovely figures painted. Can you make planes of Matchbox in future too? I have done planes in the past, but they don't do too well on the channel, and I think that's because there's much better channels out there for painting aircraft. Much better. I mean, there's loads and loads of aircraft painting channels out there. I don't shy away from painting planes, but I just don't do it too often because I don't really need them for wargaming. But it's something I'll definitely put on the list and maybe look at in the future. I've never even seen a Matchbox plane, to be honest, because I only paint really small scale planes. So yeah, I'll have a look out for sure. I think that book came out before I got my stuff. Yeah, it would have. I think it did. I think it did. I think you got samples though, right? You got a few samples, and then did you go over and get all your stuff, or did you not get any samples? And it was somebody else that I'm thinking of. Oh dear, there was a lot of talking in one session. I just had to yeah, the water's coming in very handy today, guys. Wow, you guys are very chatty, which is awesome. I love a good conversation. Tom says, when I see your figures, in my opinion, can compete with any other painter that is published in WG or Osprey books, go for it, mate. Cheers. That's really nice, mate. Just remember, a photo can hide a lot of sins, and so can a wash, which is so can a wash, which is my favorite tool for hiding a lot of my mistakes. Sandy gave me a bunch of the samples to fulfill part of my pledge, but I still have a ton more coming. You are literally painting the whole of the KNIL, right? I love it. I'm here for it. Definitely do it. It's so cool. Or you can paint German or British air personnel like me. Yeah, you can definitely do that, mate. You can definitely do some of that. Yeah, you guys are really nice. I really appreciate it. All the lovely comments and that, the support. I did have a magazine reach out to me, and it is called. What's it called? I have to go. I can't see on my. Actually, I can. Had a magazine reach out to me by one of my patrons, who's actually is part of the magazine. He's a fantastic lad, and he's asked if I'd be interested in writing some articles for it. So perhaps I'll start with that, and then take it from there. So it's called the War Games Soldiers and Strategy magazine. Now I have heard of that WSS magazine. Um, so yeah, that might be something that I'll um, and we'll test the waters. If it's popular, then yeah, maybe I can do it. Uh, Believe it or not, English isn't great. I'm not great with English and writing and stuff, so maybe it'll be a big fail. But I suppose starting somewhere might be a good idea. Writing articles and then see how we go from there. TSD, I've been doing a lot of World War II desert armor in 50 mil. What's the best way to make air recognition flags? Trying to freehand them is awful. I completely agree. It depends if you're trying to make that nasty German red flag for your Panzer Freeze and such. Uh, you can definitely get flags off eBay and stuff. If you want to make your own, which I know you said you don't want to, but if you do want to make your own, I highly recommend getting masking tape. I'll see if I've got some here. Really good example of it is this. So I hope you can see that. That's literally just masking tape. That's a tarp. Masking tape is your friend. That's a fantastic way of making flags as well. But yeah, otherwise eBay is your friend. Get some flags for whatever scale you need, and just treat it like depends. If it comes in paper form, then you just PVA glue it on, and you can dry brush a bit of dirt over the top of it just to give it a bit of wear or a very light wash. But I think I've got a Japanese flag somewhere that I did that as paper, and I just put a glaze over the top. It's probably a bit too dark, but it gives it that wear, right? Especially in the desert, because it's just going to be getting absolutely coated in dust and grime. Thomas Lowe, I agree about the magic liquid. I would seriously struggle without it. I remember there was a time when I used to paint where I didn't even use a wash, or I would use a wash and then that was it. I wouldn't follow it up with a layer and a highlight. And now I look back at that, and I used to be so naive. Like, I don't need to do that. It doesn't need to do that. That's a waste of time. And then you start doing the layering and the highlighting, and you go, actually, this is what all these people are telling me to do. And there's a good reason for it because they look so much cooler because that wash just hides all of those nasty bits, and then you can come and tidy the rest of it up. Mike Taylor, hello everyone. Good day, Mike. Thanks for joining as always, mate. You're a regular on the live streams now, which is awesome. Ian W says it's great. Oh, that's awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. I'm definitely going to take them up on the offer. I just need to reply to the editor's email. I just haven't had time because it's Mother's Day here. So shout out to my wife. She's a superb mother. Yeah, wonderful mother. But it's Mother's Day here, so we've been very busy. Trying to keep everyone happy. But I'll probably get to that tonight. Richard has magazine contacts and writes editorials. Tom, you're really pushing the case. I like it. Maybe I should go through this. And I hope you don't mind me calling you Tom opposed to Thomas. I can call you Thomas. It just seems very formal. Try and keep this like, talking to mates. Battle flags in the UK. That's a great lead. Okay. Do they do World War II or do they do other theatres of war and periods of history as well? Frederick says, it's a shame that we don't have access to WSS magazine in France. I'm unhappy. I'll be completely honest, I've never read any, just because I don't read magazines anymore. I used to read the Warhammer ones when I liked Lord of the Rings, so I just get it for the Lord of the Rings ones. White Dwarf, was it called something? This is going back like 15 years now. But yeah, I haven't read anything else since then. But I was thinking to Frederick's comment about not being able to get them in France, do they not have a PDF that you could download that would be like the magazine? I suppose you want to read a magazine though, right? If you're traveling or whatever. Michael Lee says, good evening. Good evening, Michael. Thanks for joining, mate. It's been another hot day in Perth for us. Tom says, no problem. Excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah. Really appreciate all of this great advice. But yeah, it's been some really good questions coming through, guys. Yeah, definitely keep them up. This is very good. Very warm. Yes, it has been very, very warm. My wife and I went for a picnic today with my son, and yeah, it got very hot very quickly. But yeah, I get hot in pretty much any environment. Mother's Day has the lowest rate of crime of any day of the year, and I've done my duty by taking my mum and wife out for Mother's Day breakfast instead of letting them be absolute menaces to society. Yeah, yeah, I get that. So is it Mother's Day in the US as well? Is it just the is it Mother's Day everywhere? I'm sure Mother's Day no, Mother's Day in the UK is a different day, I think. All the War Games magazine offer digital options. Ah, there you go. There you go, Frederick. Tom says that you should be able to get it in PDF form, which is awesome. I think I saw that if I subscribe, I won't have access to the clusters with the magazine because I'm outside. Oh, do they send sample sprues and stuff? It is here. I don't know about everywhere else, says Ian in relation to Mother's Day. Okay, so although if you're in the US, you would have just come back from the breakfast, though, right? That was an early breakfast. You guys must be up really early. I suppose it is summer. Let's look at it. Mother's Day UK, 15th of March. Yeah, see, they just have to be different. So they are different. We wanted to beat the crowds. I forget there's like 350 million people in the US. That's probably a smart move. I remember when we were on holiday in Orlando and there was a hurricane, and then when we went to Walmart and everything had been ransacked. It's crazy. Jeffrey says Mother's Day in the UK is the fourth Sunday in Lent, was 15th of March. You said, okay, awesome. Thanks for clarifying that one, Jeffrey. Rothgar says, good day all. Hello, Rothgar. Where are you joining us from, mate? But yeah, we're at the restaurant at 6:30. Wow, that is early. 6:30. But it's smart. That is smart. And at least you're eating early enough that you can then go and have another big feed for lunch or dinner, which is always a nice bonus. Mark says he's currently doing your Chindig guard, the old one. Oh yeah, I haven't watched that. That was one with terrible lighting. I do apologize for that, but you're only there for the paint guide anyway, so shouldn't matter too much. Went to Walmart and everything was ransacked. So you mean you went to a normal day? Credit where it's due. I don't think it's too bad in Orlando, unless you're from Orlando. But when I've been on holiday in Orlando, it's normally pretty good. But this particular time, it was like there was nothing. Obviously, there's a hurricane, but I just remember the people everywhere. Thomas says, oh no, sorry, Mike says, I've got Empress Miniatures British Parapack Howitzer. It's awesome. Would you ever consider something like that for a tutorial? What, just the howitzer? Um, hmm, maybe. I'll probably do it in a big video. The howitzer itself, you probably just want to paint it in like US dark green from Vallejo and just give it a dry brush of a lighter color, maybe mixing some buff or some German camo beige in there and just give it a dry brush and it'll look great. Thomas says a great book for anyone painting North Africa World Tour is Romans Africa Core in color. 200 plus pages of real color photos, not colorized. That is awesome. I'll have to look that up. That would be cool. I've just started. I just did the DAK tutorial the other day, and that was an awesome tutorial. And for the Flames of War fans out there, if you're not a member, you won't be able to see it just yet. But we've got the US Windsor GIs, so they're not the paratroopers for the Battle of the Bulge. That's been released tonight, and it's available for a week before it becomes public. But yeah, that's for the Flames of War fans out there. Just thought I'd get that out there whilst I was thinking of it. I'm a Territorian currently with the Sand Creeper, says Rothgar. Well, that explains it by the name. Walmart is like a free zoo. Oh god, is it that bad, is it? Mike Taylor says no as a group. Okay, yeah, as a group, yeah, I would definitely do it. I just feel like I'm swamping or flooding the market with British Airborne tutorials, and I don't want to pee off anyone that's any other historical painter out there that's wanting to paint wargaming figures of British Airborne, because I think I've got like 5 videos or 6 videos already. So I either have to start on listing videos, not care, or yeah, try and word them slightly differently so I don't. Because when I look on Google and type in like British Airborne painting tutorials, it's like all my videos, and I'm like, oh god, that's probably not good, because some of them are pretty, not great. Ian says, I have to be careful watching your 50mm painting tours because they make me feel inadequate, and my wife has to stop me from buying a huge truck or another firearm to compensate. I'm so jealous of your firearms laws, because I'd love to be able to own some of the guns you guys get. But yeah, again, 50mm is surprisingly easy to hide your mistakes. Especially with the plastics. The metal's a little bit more tricky, but the plastics are very easy to hide your mistakes. And they're quicker because you're not using too many colors, there's not as much detail. So you'll be surprised what you can actually do with a 15mm figure. I find painting the 28mm the hardest, if I'm being completely honest. Mark says, are you planning on doing any more epic? Yes, absolutely. I've got my Americans that I'm painting up probably in the next week or two. I'm trying to slow down just because I don't think they're actually available yet. So I don't want to start pushing content out that people can't even use, which is what I did with the red coats, and it wasn't as popular at the time. So we'll be painting up the Americans for the American War of Independence. And then we've got like the militia, the American Indians, or the indigenous tribesmen, and then I think there's some others. I might do like the Royal Artillery and stuff. Tom says, I've come close to the conclusion that the NA uniforms have across the spectrum of faded tans, yellows, khakis, browns, light greens, etc. Very little uniformity, especially in a late campaign. Yeah, that's true as well. That's very, very true. Tom says hello from Germany. Sorry, Tom. Trekken says hello from Germany. 50mm Japanese on your table, and maybe some Brits. There is a 50mm Japanese guy lurking around somewhere. He's in the back corner there on his own. His friends are on the painting table out of view. So yes, we are painting those. I'm waiting on Patrick, who I'm sure you would know, Trekken, to send me some foliage that's been 3D printed before I release that tutorial. So I might be able to get a few more stands of those painted as well. And the British, I have no idea. No, they've been put away. Everything else is 20mm or 28mm. But I have just released my USGI. I've just explained this one. I've just released my US paratroop. I keep saying GIs. US paratroopers for the Battle of the Bulge on my members page. So it'll be released this Saturday for anyone that's not a member. Have you ever tried painting 1/35 or bigger? Some of those guys must have sold their souls or firstborn to get as good as they are. Yeah, I haven't. I've toyed with the idea. I've toyed with the idea, but again, I'm the same as you. I'm like, oh my god, how the hell do they do that? And it's not so much the uniforms; it's the flesh. I struggle with flesh in anything over 20mm. I struggle. I pre-ordered their epic American War of Independence. I think it's not out for another month at least, says Rothgar. Yes, I think that sounds about right. Sounds about right. And if anyone else, I'm going to throw this out there. So if anybody else is ordering through Warlord Games, don't forget I've got my affiliate link. If you guys want to use it, that'd be awesome. Flesh is the bane of my existence. Yes, yes, it is. And then eyes. My God, I hate painting eyes. Still not good at it. I'd rather just not do it, but people demand it in 28mm, which is frustrating. Because I always think if you get a picture of yourself and you zoomed it right out, to what a 28mm figure would look like from your perspective in photo form, there is no way you're going to see eyes. There's just like no way. Um, yeah, I don't know. And they just come out looking so silly sometimes, I think. Mark says, I like how neat and tidy your hobby room is. This is not neat and tidy. This is organized chaos, I'd say. There's a lot hidden behind here that you can't see. Um, I do remember going to my friend Lack of Foresight Gaming's live stream one day. If you haven't seen his videos, go and check him out. He's a great lad in Canada, and he's doing some great Flames of War actual gaming videos at the moment. But his room was chaos. He had miniatures all over the place, all over the live stream. It was awesome. Someone says, if you like skirmish rules for American War of Independence or American Civil War, check out Rebels and Patriots by Osprey, about 50 to 60 figures per player. See, I've never been into the American Civil War, but I'll still check that rule set out because I'm always tempted by new rule sets. Ryan Scale Model World. Hello. Hello, Ryan. Thank you for joining us. Ian says, we demand flesh tutorials because we're also so bad at it. Yeah. You find me somebody that's really good at it. There are some fantastic flesh tutorials out there, obviously, but I think the majority of us struggle with it, right? I just don't know how they get it right. I think it's all just about blending in the colors slightly. Painting African flesh tones and not having them look like caricatures is really hard. See, I don't know if I've painted good African flesh tones, but I think my African flesh tones for my Bush Wars series actually came out pretty nice. But yeah, I find those a bit easier than the Caucasian, I think. Adam says, bye, see you. I don't have time anymore. Thank you for joining us, Adam. I really appreciate it. Yeah, have a great day, because it's day, isn't it? Have a great day, mate. Frederick and eyes tutorials too. Yes, eyes, man, eyes, and painting eye sockets, eyebrows. Those people are crazy. I've seen somebody do it in 20mm. I think I might have even seen somebody doing 15mm, which is just insanity. Your organized chaos is still tidier than anything I have going on. I've taken over a kitchen table in addition, to everything else. Oh god, your wife must hate you. Tom says, I've never tried to paint eyes. I do my war games in 172 20mm. Yeah, you are smart. You are very, very smart, mate. Sterling Hall, what rule set do you normally use for 20mm? Battle Group is my go-to rule set for 20mm at the moment, but probably Chain of Command as well. Ryan Scale Model World, do you paint Warlord games 28mm? Don't bother painting eyes on minute. Yeah, I paint eyes on my 20mm stuff. I do have 28mm tutorials, lots of them from Warlord games on the channel. If you want to go check any of those out once this live stream's done, I'd recommend it just to see what I've got at least. But yeah, definitely got loads of those on the channel. Ian says, I'm pretty sure she does. One day I wake up with a pillow over my face. I sort of get the feeling. My wife keeps threatening that I'm going to lose my hobby room. And I just try and remind her that I've just got a little thing called a YouTube channel that needs to be kept going. Because if I lose this room, then I think the channel will cease to exist. But I think she's joking. I hope so. I'll just have to keep making sure I'm being a great husband and not telling her how much money I'm wasting on miniatures. Ryan says he will check out the channel. That's great. So I'm assuming, did you just join the channel through a live stream, or have you followed the channel through other tutorials, Ryan? Just curious. It's really cool to have you on the channel. You have to hobby outside in Major. I'm sure she'll shove me in the garage if I had to go anywhere. Ryan says he's followed the channel for a while. Okay, cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for supporting the channel. Bolt action works well on 20mm 172. My daughter likes bolt action better than chain of command at the moment. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So she prefers bolt action. I remember when I played bot action, this is going back years ago. I just didn't like the fact that it was designed so like a 1940s German force could go against a 1945 Russian force. Like they were designed in a way that there was always a way that each army could win. I think, which I didn't like at the time. That's probably will change now, but that put me off it, and that's why I went towards Flames of War. Um, but yeah, I think it's all. I haven't touched it since then, guys. So don't take my word for it. And again, I'm only going back like 2 games, and I think I got schooled in both of them. So yeah. Michael Collins says, "Thank you for your tutorials. I appreciate all you do. Keep up the great work." Thanks, Michael. I really appreciate that, mate. I really do appreciate that. Ryan says, "Love bot action. Made M8 Greyhound." Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the M8 is awesome. I was just playing combat mission with a friend of mine on the PC, and one of my M8 Greyhounds just got absolutely annihilated by a Puma, which wasn't fun for them especially. BA is very easily accessible. Anyone can easily learn. Yeah, it did seem like an easy game to learn. And like you said, it's a lot more popular than Flames of War, Bolt Action, sorry, Bolt Battle Group, Chain of Command. And the team at Warlord are superb. Their customer service, their website's really good, their promotion's fantastic. They've got a really good business model. So yeah, they've got the market for World War II for sure. But then the more hardcore gamer, the one that wants a little bit more realism, gravitates to things like Chain of Command and Battle Group. I won't say Flames of War in the realism aspect of it, because Flames of War is more like bolt action, but in 15mm in terms of level of how you can learn the game. Even though I still don't know the rules properly, I pretend I do, but I don't. Mark says, "I nagged my long-haired chief of staff for 3 years to get a bigger man room. I got it in the end." Okay, so I've just got a nag for 3 years. Okay. Ryan, be careful of the Greyhound, the gun barrel too small. Yeah, that's a 37mm gun, I think, is on the Greyhound, and that would be a small barrel. He says, "My son's been playing with me for several years now." Yeah, that's what I keep threatening my wife. When my son is old enough to start gaming, look out. I came to Bar Action for passion for World War II, so I take part in the reenactment in France, mainly Normandy. Oh, that is so cool, mate. That's so cool. And you live near Normandy as well. That is amazing. That is so amazing. Baltazar, hello Baltazar, thanks for joining. It says, "Do you have experience with fantasy stuff painting?" No. I've painted Lord of the Rings figures a long time ago. Long time ago. I'm talking like when I was 12, 13. I'm now 33. So 20 years ago plus. Would I do it again? Probably. Will I do it on this channel? I'm not so sure. If I do, it'll be one-off every now and then. I did intend to do it. We were actually just talking about this about half an hour ago. I did intend to do something like that, but I haven't. But I do have a Warhammer 40k video planned as a one-off because I was gifted a load of Warhammer 40k models. I've never played Warhammer 40k. I've got zero interest in it. However, I do like the look of this model, so I'll give it a go. Flames of War feels like a parking lot versus parking lot. I think that's harsh. I think that's very harsh. It does look that way, especially with Team Yankee. It can get like that. It really depends who you're playing. The group that we've got in Western Australia are very casual, try and keep it historically themed. So you don't really get all that parking lot nonsense. You do with infantry, infantry stack up next to each other and stuff. But that's not good gameplay because if they get mortared, you're going to lose more stacks, etc., etc. So yeah, it is harsh. It is true in certain aspects. Well, some tournaments there is like the car parks where there's literally tanks on top of each other, which is just absolutely stupid in my opinion. Mike says, Wall do a fantastic range of vehicles, but I love metal figures. I'm the same as you, Mike. I really do. But I am slowly coming to plastic figures. I'm starting to find plastic figures are a lot easier to paint, which I know I shouldn't be saying that, but it's the truth. Sterling Hall, have you ever tried any of these Chinese made 172 figures? I don't remember what the brand is called, but they are really cheap. I do. We get a lot of them on eBay here in Australia. I've just ordered one. This is a little Citroen for Arnhem. That I can't remember the general's name that was killed by the British Airborne as he was driving to his HQ. It's a little 172 Citroen like staff car. The only issue is it's just a little bit smaller. It's Chinese made though. Superb quality. It was like $30. Um, the wheels move as well, which is cool. Um, the only problem is it's slightly too small. So I've emailed them saying, "Hey, look, can you make this bigger? Is there any way of making it bigger?" Um, we'll see what they come back with. But I think it's amazing quality, much better than the Ace kit that I've got of the same car. That was just an absolute nightmare. Hey, lack of foresight gaming. You must have heard that I was talking about you just before. Welcome to the channel, mate. Flame's absolutely an arcade game of the tabletop lore. You can strive for historical authenticity with how you build lists and approach the game, but it's death arcadey. This is the man you want to speak to about playing Flames of War and Team Yankee because he does a lot more of it than I do. So he summed it up in a perfect statement there. And if you haven't checked out Lack of Foresight's gaming channel, please go check it out. Some fantastic videos on there of his gaming experiences as well. Oh, Thomas Chase, Chain of Command version 2 is excellent and is the best historical rule set in my honest opinion for World War II skirmish. That is great, fantastic endorsement. I will definitely go check it out. I'll go check it out. I'll definitely go and play it when the rule set arrives. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, I need to start reading some of these because they're coming through thick and fast. I don't mind casual games mixing time periods if it means you can play a game even if you don't have an appropriate army. That's fair enough, Rothgar. I do understand that point. It just wasn't for me, but I do understand that point for sure. Ryan Scale Model World. I got the Battle of Bulge set from Bolt Action. Finished the US and German. Oh wow, you've been busy. Ian, wow, we're closer in age than I realized. Well, how now you have to divulge how old you are, Ian. Ryan was going to paint the French army. Bloody hell, you are busy, mate. You are busy. Do it. I'm all for it. Get as much as you can done. To be fair, Team Yankee is my only Flames experience. Yeah, I've only played Team Yankee once. I'm not a big fan, but I don't like that period. I'm not a big fan of that period, so that's why I haven't played it. Ryan, Flames of War is pretty good, but good got some last Christmas. Oh, what models did you get last Christmas for the Flames of War stuff? Metal figures have the best detail for paint. This is fact, and anything said to the contrary is hearsay. I was definitely in that boat, but the plastics are slowly winning me over. I know I should just quit this stream now. I can't believe I'm even saying it. It pains me to say it. Baltazar, I'm not interested in 4K, etc. universes, but those figures are sculpted in a very sharp way. They are good for learning advanced painting techniques. That's a really good point. Really, really good point. Their style of painting, though, you either love it or you don't, and it's not really for me the way that they paint. But it looks great on their figures because they're not historical figures. They're not in like drab. Like a Foresight game, you were talking about me, Lol. Miss that. Yes, I was endorsing your channel for you, mate. Telling everyone to go check him out because we were talking about Flames of War, and I was promoting that one. And I do see that you were doing the Japanese. Let me get this right. Was it Bukit Timor? Was it no? There was. I just saw you promoting the British getting the Sitang. No, not the Sitang Bridge. That was Burma. What was it called? Anyway, I've lost it for a minute. But yeah, he's doing a great series on the Japanese and the British for the Flames of War. Pacific release has just come out, so definitely go check that out. Lack of foresight. Ah, shucks, mate. You're too kind. It's only the truth, mate. Only the truth. Thomas Chase, lol. Ace models are weak. Pretty putty required, mate. This one was just like rage. I wanted to rage, and the UN Panzer 470A kit was another one that I just had to bin. I was so angry with it. Just horrible. Lack of foresight. You are def the go-to for painting. I've used so many of yours for my work. You're a legend. Thank you so much, mate. And you helped the channel when I was first starting out. You're one of the first ones to help promote the channel, so I'd love to return the favor where I can. So thank you so much, mate. Ian, 31. You're younger than me. How dare you? Frederick, Citroen traction. Long live France. Yes, long live France indeed. Viva la France. Ryan. Oh, can't remember. Oh, come on. You gotta remember those Flames of War figures. Sterling Hall AB figures is so good though. They're the best, right? I'm still debating Paul Hicks British Airborne figures or Tony Barnes 20mm British Airborne figures. That is a tough, tough competition. Thomas, French World War II earned their love. World War II early is unique and in line to learn about. Absolutely, and I hate the stereotype of what you hear about the French in World War II because they fought some bloody tough action, and there was some really strong characters in that army. They just got dealt a bad hand, and again, like the British, poor leadership in certain aspects as well. Paint chips really easy from metal figures. That is true. That is very, very true. People will do a gloss varnish and then seal it afterwards with a clear coat. I don't do that, but that will help the preventing of chipping. Patrick, so I found my list for next year on Wolf Craig. I sent my list to you on Facebook. Okay, cool. I'll check it out. Bucket Team Up. I was right. In Singapore. Okay, cool. Are you going to be doing any other actions in that period in the Malayan Peninsula or perhaps Burma? The battle at Sitang Bridge, if you haven't seen that, that would be a fantastic game to play. It would be a fighting withdrawal, I'd say. Well worth trying to play it or reenact it because that was a balls up on unimaginable scales. But it would be a fantastic game to play, I think. TSD 4027. I definitely prefer some of the Battlefront plastic over metal resin. The old metal and resin Panzer IVs and Stugs were what the hell is that word? Notoriously fiddly with their shots. And absolutely, I completely agree. Battlefront's plastic tanks are without a doubt probably the best 50mm plastic kits on the market. I will stand by that all day long. In terms of 15mm figures, they're much better than the old metal and resin figures as well. I used to hate, with a passion, the metal tracks that used to come in one piece on those tanks. Lack of thoughts again. Filming as soon as my mate comes by in about an hour. If you want to get me a plane ticket over to Canada, mate, and find us a job and somewhere to live and move all of my stuff over and my dogs and that, I can be that mate for you. Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack the stream. You definitely not hijack the stream, mate. Good to have some other content creators in here. Share the love because where I do painting tutorials, you do all the gaming because I don't do any of that. Right. Oh, now I remember. It was the Curse set Flames. Well, that was a good set. Good set. That was a good choice, that one. Oh, we have plans. My mate and I met at this new posting. Is a huge Brit player, and he actually turned me on to the early Pacific action like Singapore, Malaya, and Burma. So without giving too much away, we have plans for following on action before we move to Guadalcanal, etc. Interesting. That's good. It's good to hear some British love for the Pacific. It's not so much of that. Bro, if you want a vacation and come to Canada, we can chat. I'm renting in a touristy area and they're about half an hour from the base. So, yeah, I love Toronto. I love Niagara on the Falls. That was on the lake, on the falls on the lake when we went from Ontario, Toronto down to there. But you're in Ontario. But yeah, it was. I love Canada. We tried to move to Canada, believe it or not, a long time ago. 4 or 5 years ago, and we had to do these English tests to get over, and then we were put into the pool, and then our English tests expired, but you had to pay for the English tests. English tests expired, and then we said, oh, screw it, we can't be asked doing that again. So that was the end of our moving to Canada dream. But we could have been neighbours. Thomas, I was tempted to buy PSC's 15mm British Paris, decent model selection, 50mm. Yes, but their 50 mil British pounds, I don't think were that great, to be honest. They're plastic ones. I would be more inclined to wait to see if they release some 3D printed British airborne figures because their 3D printed Panzergrens are lovely. I wasn't so keen on their hard plastic British airborne, if I'm being brutally honest. But with that said, they would be far better than the new Battlefront British airborne figures, I believe. Ian says Warlord doing plastic Winter Brits instead of plastic 14th Army really drives home how forgotten the 14th Army was. Yeah, it's typical. And most people, even shows with my tutorial videos, most people aren't remotely interested in that period of history, which is a real shame because it is a great period to war game. Um, it's mainly infantry, it's mainly close quarters, lots of assaulting. Um, same with the US Army and the US United States Marine Corps. It doesn't get much love, and I don't know why. Because not only was it just crazy what they had to go through, um, but the actions and the stuff that were happening is just insane. When you read some of the stories, man, that must have been the most scary experience I think anyone could ever go through. Yeah, we have some silly immigration wars. Cecil V, maybe I should move to your end of the planet, lol. Definitely, mate. You're always welcome to come here. Although, again, Australia has extremely hard immigration rules as well, so it's very, very tough to get in here. But I think Canadians might be able to get in a bit easier. I'm not too sure. Bolsar, to me, 3D figures are too crusty. I don't know. These ones from Plastic Soldier Company were very nice. The infantry. They did have some issues with just the way they 3D printed, I believe, but these ones were really nice. I would recommend them for sure. BF should go back to medals. I forgot how much enjoyable I found them to paint. The re-released Japanese have been so much fun to paint. Yeah, their medal figures are lovely. They're just far superior to what they've got, their new range. Will they go back to medals? No, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see them go back to medals. Will they improve their plastics? Hopefully. They released hard plastics US Airborne figures and Panzer Grenadiers, and they were lovely. Really, really nice figures. So, yeah. Any tutorials for Plastic Soldier 172 figures? No, I don't have any. I have the 3D printed finish in 172 scale that I might paint up, but not their soft plastic. Because I don't think they've got any hard plastic 172 figures, have they? Or am I getting confused? My great grandfather was in Burma, commanded a 6-pounder gun team. Wow, that's amazing. My God, I imagine he's got some stories to tell because I'm sure those 6-pounders would have come in very handy to dislodge those Japanese emplacements. AB makes very nice. Winter British World War II. Sorry, I just saw the WITO. I didn't. There was no N there. British World War II. They do. They look lovely. They've got the British in the jerkins as well, which are very cool. The fact that Sicily is more explored than the Commonwealth experience in the forest is mad. Yeah, but again, it was a big invasion, I suppose. In the grand scheme of things, it was a big invasion, and it was a turning point for the war in Europe and stuff. So I can understand it. And again, the Far East don't have the toys. We don't have the Tigers. We don't have the Hermann Göring divisions running around and the SS and the Luftwaffe and everything else. You've just got some, real tough fighting, but we don't have massive tank engagements and stuff like that. But I think with each release that's coming out, Chain of Command now, Flames of War, and I'm sure Bolt Action will re-release like a Far East Handbook at some point. It gets a little bit of love and a few more people get converted. I wasn't expecting there to be as much excitement for the Flames War Pacific release as there has been, which is great, which might mean that they might do a late war Pacific release, which would be the icing on the cake for us anyway. Not the not that Sicily was a catwalk, my old unit, and most of their Second World War battle honours there, but Hong Kong, Singapore, Burma, like it's such a savage shit show. And just think about the Canadians' contribution to defending Hong Kong. When you read about the Battle of Hong Kong and what those units went through, the Indians, the Brits, the Canadians, man, just crazy experience for those. And it would be really good to portray that in a wargaming experience. You can also get nice Windsor 3D printed by Cossack Miniatures. I did see Cossack. I've got some Cossack SAS, but the only thing I'll say about Cossack 3D printed miniatures is there's very little detail on their weapons. They look good until you print them, and then there's very little detail on their weapons. So you sort of have to add that in with painting. Yeah, some of the hard packs have been good. The most recent Team Yangon have been fantastic, but the medals have so much more character, much more variety. Yeah, I definitely agree. Oh, bloody smacking my elbow on everything today. I've heard the story secondhand. He passed long before I was born. Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, I bet he's got some. I bet he would have had some stories. But a lot of the time, they don't want to speak about him, and for bloody good reason as well. Plastic Soldier 172 figures are hard plastic. Okay, I'll check them out. I haven't looked at them. Because we've got AB. We've got AB. It's so hard to go away from AB and Adler and Simon Soldiers and Checkpoint Miniatures. There's just so many good ones out there. Apparently, he wrote a memoir. Oh, you should. Oh, mate, that would be amazing if you could find it. I missed out back in the day getting much of the Italy campaign stuff or the Panzers. Maybe one day they will do a re-release. Yeah. I don't think the Panzers stuff was very good, to be honest. I think that was one of their poorer medal range sculpts, but the Hermann Goring was very good. Speaking of French, there was a captured BF-1 now with French flag on an Airfix one. Oh, that would be cool to replicate. Do you reckon there's any chance for First World War gaming? I feel like it's really overlooked in the wargaming world. I think there would be. There was a revival in the gaming world, wasn't there, of World War One, gaming. So maybe wargaming might get going soon. But I think the Flames of World War One gaming system was a bit of a fail. So I don't know. Are the KNIL available in Flames of War? No. Unfortunately not. But you can get 50mm KNIL figures from a company I'm not too familiar with. But you can get them, but they don't show any of what they look like, which is scary. But there are the prospects. And for Flames of War, you would just play the KNIL as the British and just use the same stats. My customer ordered for me to paint some German 3D printed half tracks from plastic. They arrived with ugly deformations. There were problems with complaint. Oh, that's annoying. I'm sorry to hear that, Bolster. I know they had some problems for sure. I personally haven't got any, and I've bought them myself, so there's not something they've been sending me as a sample. They don't support the channel really at all. So yeah, it's not something I've had any preferential treatment to, but I've had some good experiences with them. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was captured. Love that AB is in Australia, and it's amazing. Yeah, amazing they're in Australia, and Nick is such a great supporter of the channel, constantly sending me stuff. Yeah, he's just such a good bloke for the community. I cannot say it enough. Flames of War is trash. I wouldn't go that far, Ian. I quite like Flames of War myself. Thomas, Sicily and Italian campaigns were strategically about getting airfields far enough north to extend the street of bombing campaigns of the Balkan oil fields, not about taking all of Italy. Okay, that's interesting. Makes sense. Calistro have a very nice World War 1 10mm range. Okay. All right, guys. Anyway, this has been an awesome conversation. Ryan says, have you got a Discord by any chance? I do, but it's only available for members, which I know sounds awful, but it's a perk for my members. So tier 2, tier 3, and Panzer Aces get access to my exclusive Discord channel, which is $2 a month. So it's up to you if you want to join. But yeah, that's where the Discord channel is. You can always reach me on socials. I'm always happy to message and talk. I've got a Facebook YouTube supporters page that you can join as well. People are relatively active in that. I need to sort of boost it up if I can. Um, but yeah, feel free to join if anyone wants to join. You know, there's absolutely zero. You don't really get much. You get access to early videos. You get access to Discord, paint lists, a few other things. If you're a Panzer Ace, you get a T-shirt and stuff. So you can see them on there. If you want to join, it's really great. If not, just by watching my videos, giving them a like, that helps tremendously. Anything that lacks KNIL is rubbish. You are mad. Are you Dutch? Is this guy, is Ian Dutch? Is this where this fascination from the KNIL is coming from? You must be the biggest supporter of the KNL in the world, I reckon. UK community in the US carries AB miniatures. Yes, they do. They do. And I heard that I think Jason, one of my patrons, said that they've just released the Chindit range as well, which is good. Ryan will consider it. You do what's best for you, mate. I'll be completely honest. I think I've only subscribed to 2 other Patreons, and it's paying like the bare minimum. So there is absolutely no requirement or no ill feeling or anything like that from me. If you join, you join. If you don't, you don't. This really doesn't bother me at all. I'll sign up for membership after pay on the 15th log. You don't have to do that, mate. You seriously don't have to do that. But really appreciated that you're even considering it. But really, really, you don't have to do it unless you want to, obviously. Painting Panzers is an elitist lol. You know it. All about making that money. Got to make that money. I want a Panzer shirt to wear while I'm filming lol. We could try and tee something up, maybe. That'd be pretty cool. Although I've got to keep it to my Panzer Aces, otherwise it's not a perk. That's the problem. The problem with having memberships is you have to find perks for people, and it's so difficult to come up with meaningful perks, and I'm terrible at it. So yeah, it's tricky. But just by watching my videos as well, guys, you're supporting the channel, right? Sharing my content on social media or to your mates or whatever, it all helps, you know. And sometimes that goes a lot further than just the financial side of things. Don't get me wrong, the financial side of things also helps greatly because it helps me buy sets that I ordinarily wouldn't have bought, or try a new box set from a different manufacturer that I would never have touched if I didn't have the additional support. Yeah, so and to give you a bit of an understanding, the Patreon actually brings in better revenue than YouTube does. So as content creators, and I'm sure Lack of Foresight will agree with this, YouTube, you really don't make a lot of money, but we're not in it for the money, right? We're in it just for the hobby, and then anything extra is a bonus. Better known likely because 1943 was the year I'm filming. Give them models, lol. Not a problem, lol. I will happily do it. At least one of my YouTube friends gets paid decently, lol. My gov job pays well enough to let me do that. You really don't have to, mate, seriously. But I do appreciate it. But yeah, you focus on your channel, mate. Put your money into your channel because I want to see this channel grow like it should do. Oh yeah, I made like $100 in a year. Yeah, it's pretty. It's yeah, it's not as good as people think it is. I was expecting thousands, and I'd be retiring. But like, see you guys, I've made 10,000. I've made $1 million. I'm out of here. But no, it's not quite worked out that way. I'm still driving around in my little Hyundai and not got my Porsche or anything like that yet. Still having to work my full-time job and stuff. Get the violin out, guys. Get the violin out. Oh, 100% for fun and the excuse to show how bad my dice are to the world. Yeah, exactly. It's all about the Hamiltons or whoever is on the Australian Monopoly money unit of $20. Dude. All right, got to catch a train to Newcastle tomorrow, so I better go to bed. All right, yes, see you, mate. Thank you for joining. Oh, and when you're going to paint some Canadian disreputable pattern camo troops? Great question. I've not even considered. I think you might have mentioned it in the past. I've not considered it, but I'll definitely look at it. Definitely look at it. There you go. Rothgar's got the violins out. Excellent, mate. Get 3 violins as well. God, we're really feeling the love from Rothgar there. All right, I'm off, guys. It's only meant to be an hour stream. We've gone well over my allocated time. It's Mother's Day. I've got to go and spend a little bit of time with the wife, otherwise, yeah, it's not nice. So yeah, I really appreciate you all joining. Really did enjoy this stream. It's been a fantastic stream. We haven't stopped talking, have we? So it's really good in that way. But yeah, I can see a lot of you still commenting. That's really good. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Remember, this stream is going to be happening every Sunday. So feel free to get your questions ready, get those violins out, and we can have a good laugh and a good chat. But yeah, I'm going to end it here. Hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah. And Bolsas, just finishing it. You live in Australia? Yes, I live in Western Australia, mate. I am from the UK. I moved from Leicester in the UK to Australia. But yes, all right. I'm going to end it here. Thank you all for watching. I'm signing off as if it's a video tutorial. I am sorry I've signed off already, probably 3 or 4 times now, but I am going. Thanks, guys. And like the stream. Thanks, Tom. I like the stream.